Hello? Alright. I'm hoping that this live stream turns out better than the last couple that I've done because shoddy internet connections. And if not, I'm sorry. I'll probably end up replaying this game again because it's so much fun, but right now I already beat it. I got the hero path completed. I've found all 4 truths, and now all I'm doing is like trying to wrap up the trophies on here, which means literally just gonna blow through. Hopefully, try to blow through a couple of these. I still have to go to bed at some point. Got work in the morning, and hopefully that's quick. But I feel like since there's only 2 stories left on Lupino, I think we'll start with Lupino and try not to get the hero's ending.
Lupino was a traitor to the cause, and maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Well, nope. To get the story ending I want, we should probably hit up this.
Lupino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lupino always wiggled out of trouble given time, but he was out of time. Lupino's frantic message said that the Ravens were going to kill him for being a rebel spy, and that he had a clever plan. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Or so Lupino had told him over the
So hopefully we can knock this out. I wanted to play this tonight, but I'm just ate. Now I'm freaking tired. But it is a Friday night, and I deserve to play some video games for a little bit. So my goal tonight, depending on how long it takes for me to do this, I'm at least going to get Lupino's stories completed, and then I'll finish up the rest some other point in time. That's if I'm lucky.
Lupino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to look at. I think I have all the gems. Alright, yeah, so I do have all the gems. Treasure Hunter, don't really need no more. What am I running right now? Shield Breaker, Attack Speed, Energy on Kill. I almost want to go for Critical Chance. We'll see. We'll see. I gotta remember how to play this again. Because it's been a while. I got discouraged after the last live stream because my internet connection bogged out.
That was awesome!
Ooh,
People
nice.
were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks past, Renato had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the Ravens caw about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice. Hey, why don't you guys fight in groups? Oh, I know. Because there's no I in team.
Oh. Ow. Did not mean for that to happen. Oh, that's why I feel weird. I'm not using my frickin' Void Blade. It's also weird having this thing follow me, but sure, I'll live with it. Hey, look, a chest.
A chest that shiny deserved to be opened.
Alright, I'm at full health. I don't need to worry too much. Yeah. Oh, do I even... I don't think I have to switch over to the fire sword to do that. Whoop! Oh, do I really gotta be... Sorry, okay. Oh, was it seriously just... God damn it. I'm an idiot. You think I would learn by now that I don't need to go down every single path. Alright. That'd be a nice one to have. Should probably work on my aggressive defense, though. Do a little bit more damage. What's this? Inflict damage on hooked enemies. That'd be cool, too. There's a lot of things that are cool. But we'll come to that bridge when we get there. Boom.
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advanced guard.
Getting pretty good at this again.
If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Well,
bring it, bitch!
Unless he really was a traitor. Obviously. Then they'd probably pin a medal on his chest.
Oh, that wasn't one? I thought maybe that was one.
I wondered if he could learn to cook this way. Probably not.
Alright. So, question. Why do I get the floating eye behind me? But even better. My combat. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Can't escape me, bitch. Alright, Lupino.
And bloody, Renato finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Bernardo recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper. Even if he couldn't get the whole thing, it must have great power.
Alright. Well, I know I paid a call on Zenobia last time. And I think for that first... I think for that story that I'm missing for Lupino, I need to go for the armature. I think. I'm trying to remember. I can't,
Sky
but...
Ripper, the transcendent emperor, had wrapped an armature around the eye of a god. Bernardo had already let that armature slip away to save Lapino's
Oh, wait,
life.
did I...
But even its core, the eye torn from a god, surely they could fashion a great weapon from that.
The core of the Sky Ripper? Lapino's excited. That's an actual thing that we can just go and get. You've been busy.
He sure had. Bernardo told him all the things he'd been up to. Soon they got to talking about old times, about wages they'd won and lost, and scrapes they'd barely got out of. It was good to be back with his friend. True, the core was capable of terrible, uncontrollable destruction. But this time, he was sure it would work great.
I think I already did this one. This is what happens when you don't play this for a while. You forget which freaking branch of the story you went down. Alright. Well, hopefully I didn't just make a big mistake and replay an old story.
It's beautiful here, thought Bernardo. It was nice to be back with his old war buddy. All right. Lapino was a traitor. But still, it was good company.
Alright.
Ah, Zenobia.
God damn it.
Now that he knew she still loved him, he wanted to go back to her. But that hadn't worked out, had it? Maybe it was time to find the core of the Sky Ripper.
Yeah, sure, why not? Bloop. God damn it.
This chest contained a vorpal sword. There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
There we go.
He could travel at night, so long as there were raiders set on fire.
There we go. Oh, god damn it. Was this a dead end?
Wrong. All over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter than it had been. There were insects, a few birds, if you didn't count the ravens. Bernardo smelled sick animals and dying ones. No healthy ones. I'm getting a bad feeling about this, Bernardo thought. Maybe Lapino was right. Maybe he should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
Ah, oh, damn it, I fucked up my combo. Could have had 49.
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Bernardo felt queasy. Like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides. It wasn't healthy to be so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Bernardo ached to get away from it. He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Bernardo ached to be rid of it. Tell you what, said Lapino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial Outpost. The Imperial Outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Bernardo. But what if Lupino lost the core to the Empire? That could be a good thing, couldn't it? Was Renato ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself.
Well, never gone down this path, so definitely going.
Renato, you won't regret this. I'll treat the core like it was my own baby daughter.
As the Farfarer dived towards the Nexus, Lupino was jumping up and down with excitement. "Stop rabbiting around," Renato said. Lupino just stared at him. The moment the ship landed, Lupino leapt off the ship.
Yeah, of course. Of course you would, Lupino. You're just one big, stupid, fluffy rabbit. Alright, let's go attack this thing.
As Lupino vanished into the wilds of the Nexus, Renato vaguely remembered Lupino had a baby daughter, didn't he? And he told her mother he was going out to get some Easter eggs, and he'd never come back. But Renato was relieved not to carry the core anymore. He was already feeling better. And who knows, maybe this time Lupino would get it right. And if Renato could take the outpost, he'd have access to all the Empire's communications in the sector, right? No skateboarding, the sign said.
Oh, I wonder why you need a sign like that then. Open up some chests. God damn it. Moving right along. Ah, look at my little eyeball floating behind me. Oh, I love it. I think I actually remember these stairs. Last time I played, they were glitched out and I couldn't see them.
Not really.
Ow, you. Yeah, I know, imperfect. He freaking got me. He got me. Well, at least I don't have to worry about using the beginning sword because I already...
Renato caught his breath. His joints still hurt, but he couldn't feel the poison in his system anymore.
Oh.
He'd let the armature slip out of his hands to save his friend Lupino. Of course he had to let Lupino take the core. The rebellion needed every man doing his duty. And the rabbit would be no good taking on an Imperial outpost, right?
Well, I already know that he's going to betray me.
The rebellion's time was running out. The intel he would collect from the outpost would give the rebels a small edge in the final battle. But the real game changer was the core. That was in Lupino's paws. Renato hated playing second fiddle.
Damn it, I lost my combo again. Yeah, perfect, but I lost my combo.
Took the outpost with a song in his heart. Soon, he was stuffing his sack with key messages from and to the fleet. Then the far speaker toad chortled a new message. The observatory had been sacked by ravens. Lupino and all the scientists had been taken to the mountains. Why? Why had he trusted Lupino again? And now the Empire had the core. Renato hailed the rebel base to warn them. But their far speaker didn't crouch back. Was the base under attack too?
Let's go after Lupino. I feel...
Who knew what was going on at the base? but he knew what the Ravens would do to Lupino if Renato didn't rescue him fast. Well, actually, he wasn't exactly sure. It kind of depended on whether Lupino was a traitor or not. Renato just couldn't bring himself to believe that. What are old friends for, if not to need rescuing every few days?
Even though I already know he's a traitor, but at the same point I need to finish up these stories. This has taken a lot longer than I thought. Ooh. Excuse me on that one.
Renato felt a twinge of doubt. Should he have gone to the base? No. Logically, wherever they'd taken Lupino was probably where they took the core, right? Oh, why couldn't Lupino have just, for once, not got himself captured? Was that too much to ask? He shouldn't be too hard on the rabbit. No, he meant well, and he was insanely brave. You have to admire that.
Ah, fuck!
Having a pet. Well, like having a goblin for a pet.
Yeah, I know, imperfect. I fucked that last. Shouldn't have dragged the frickin' bomb into me. Oh, so you are gonna make me use the... That's weird. Whatever. I'll just go the right path. I don't need any more treasure. Nice. Meh.
This was a roundabout way of getting there.
Don't man me. Wow, you bastard! I mean, good style, but that was imperfect. I could have done better.
Where were they holding Lupino anyway? There was no sign of him or the Ravens who'd captured him. Just rocks and snow and the usual scouts. No sign of the core either. Was this a wild rabbit chase? Oh, trust Lupino to screw up even getting captured. But what was this rebellion for anyway? Lupino was the useless thing. But he was a friend. If friends didn't matter anymore, what was the point of winning this war?
I might need to look up how exactly...
You can even need to aim it.
Gonna have to look up exactly what I need, because I think all I need is grapple, attack, dash. Is there another ability I'm missing? Probably. How am I still getting acceptable? It should be fabulous. We should goddamn might as well be glorious. It makes me a tad upset. Alright.
The rebellion would soon be engaging the Imperial fleet in a desperate battle. All Reynardo had done was save a friend. It didn't feel as good as he'd hoped.
Yeah, probably not. But I also need to get to the end of this.
At the end of the mountain path, Reynardo came to a clearing. There was a campfire, raven feathers, and... oh, Lupino's lucky deck of cards. Well, that wasn't good. Reynardo hoped Lupino would not try to cheat his captors at cards. Ravens were much better than weasels at counting, and they had a very poor sense of humor. Then, he saw what he had hoped never to see. Fresh scraps of rabbit fur. Ragged and bloody, ravens would eat anything.
By Grabthar's hammer!
Reynardo screamed at the sky.
I will avenge you!
The rebels had assembled their fleet. Ahead, clouds were dark with Imperial ships. If he could reach the Emperor before the rest of the rebels did, maybe he could settle this without too much bloodshed. He set sail, and the Farfarer shot forward.
Well, that's fantastically beautiful. Oh, hoodlady golly, what a day. This is taking a whole lot longer than I thought. Talking about half an hour to get this story.
I'd never been a great warrior. The mad rabbit was good for a lark and a laugh. And a pint. The thought of ravens eating him made Reynardo furious. The way they were eating up a land. The way the Emperor was eating up the people with his new, bloodthirsty ways. He would make them all pay.
Oh, I shall avenge Lupino, and I think this is going to be like the last story. Not the first,
There
but
it was again. The back door to the portal that went to the center of the fleet.
alright, big chest. Might as well. I wish it'd give me energy and not just health, but sure, whatever. I'll take whatever. And shoot. And shoot. And teleport.
He'd given
Alright.
up every objective to save his friend. He'd given up the armature, the core, the
Damn it.
gem, and even Zenobia. He loved Lupino, he realized. And now the rabbit was gone. A hero looks out for his friends, even when they're gone. He would send Lupino an honor guard of ravens to serve him in the halls of the Valiant. He would avenge him.
Alright. Oh, I finally get a good? I finally get a good. Jesus. Ooh, man, I got fucking movement speed. Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, God. Get! Woo. Thought I was about dead there. Moving, moving. Holy sh... Why am I moving so fast? Holy crap. Give me the story ending I need.
Finally, he reached the Emperor's ship. And there was Lapino, surrounded by ravens. He was alive. They'd eaten some other rabbit. I'll save you! He shouted with joy and flung himself at the ravens. Oh, you shouldn't have, said Lapino when the last raven was down. Renato threw his arms around his best friend. I had to come. I love you, man. You really, really shouldn't have, said Lapino. And Renato felt a rather sharp pain in his back. As he collapsed, Lapino took the dagger out of Renato's back and wiped it off on Renato's sleeve. Why? You always have to be the hero. Brave Renato, epic Renato, super sexy Renato, and I'm sick of it. As Renato died, all he could think was, damn it, fooled again.
Okay, there it is. Whew. This is friendship above all else. Cool. Alright. That's the story ended. Okay, I got... How do I get that one then? What friends are for? Grab Thor's hammer. Endless moment. Don't think twice. I have to look at these real fast. Make sure I... So there's find the gem. Find Zenobia. Spare Zenobia. Throw the gem. Rescue Lapino and find the core. Rescue Lapino, find Zenobia. That one was Rescue Lapino. Huh. Oh, no, that was that one. Find the core. These two were Find Zenobia. That was Find the core. This one was Find the... Oh, my Jesus. Okay, so how do I get to the last one then? Should I... Alright, I think I know what I have to do to get that last Lapino story. Hopefully. Or...
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
So, hold on. Find the gem, find Zenobia, rescue Lapino, find the core. Okay. So, I went for the gem, the Iblis stone. So, if I build the Sky Ripper, is that gonna bring me to... Okay, fuck. Two pieces. Shit.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces deep. And then, this Emperor's horrific sacrifices had brought it back to the surface. Renato wasn't exactly sure how to use the legendary weapon. But surely, there must be some way to do it without provoking another attack.
Somebody knocked on my door.
And he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the Earth. It was more than Renato could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, He would use it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
As he set foot on the island, Bernardo couldn't help feeling a bit curious. Was Lupino still waiting to be rescued? No. He was probably drinking champagne.
That's
with
a
the
rock.
ravens. Did ravens drink champagne?
Yeah.
Did rabbits? Bernardo felt oddly thirsty, come to think of it. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Bernardo never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Would he stick with it? Bernardo hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them.
There we go. Alright. I remember this level, and it's a freaking pain in the ass. Because every single time I start getting greedy, I end up getting myself killed. Shortcut?
Long live the Emperor! Called the ravens.
That had been his mistake before. Not trusting Zenobia's feelings for him. But how could he have known? After all these years of silence.
Thickbog, most believable tale is used the Sky Ripper to banish Iblis. Then the TE buried the weapon and vanished. Was it self-imposed exile? Oh, I read this one before. Freaking creepy Emperor. God damn it. Alright, fine, I'll switch to the sword you want. I like my attack speed though. Splash damage is always good too.
Bernardo had always been attracted to the women with the biggest chest. No, that's not what I meant. To rob.
All right. Oh no! Whew. Oh, oh, God! See, this is where I'm gonna die because I'm greedy. Hope, hope, hope. Oh! There we go. That's all I wanted. Ooh. At least it's thinking my style's good. Oh, freaking puzzles. Thank God it's not a hard one.
Bernardo chuckled. It was the same puzzle. He wished he had his friends here, so he could amaze them.
Alright, I'm getting close.
There it was. Sky Ripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Sky Ripper had a heart, a core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
Son of a... Alright. So maybe not go for Zenobia, but at the same time... If I get the armature and the core, meet the scientist, and then meet Calaveras. Maybe if I skip either the scientist or Calaveras, I can get one of these other endings down here.
It was a no-brainer. He'd sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature. And the armature was useless by itself, only a series of coils and wheels. War demanded sacrifices, and he would make more before the end. He would have to choose the greatest good, no matter how much it cost him. Zenobia. Well, he would see her sooner or later, across a battlefield or a sword's point before all this was over. He was sure of that. The power was in the core. Obviously, he had to get the core.
Oh no, I gotta get the core. I have no idea what my roommates are doing, but Jesus, they're noisy. And if you guys are listening, I can hear you through my headphones, and that's amazing.
He looked up at the old trees around him. They were so big and so old. They'd been there before he was born, and they'd be there after he'd passed into legend. Was he confronting his own unimportance? What had got into him? He was no philosopher. Anyway, who cares?
God damn it.
He was plenty important. He was a hero, and soon he'd prove it.
Alright, let's skip going down.
These were really nice chests. He should take one home, he thought.
Alright, let's keep moving here. Man, you're still just giving me good. I want better than
There
good.
was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
Really? Oh. Oh! That was... Oh god, I'm still alive.
The goat. Take the goat across first.
I should have just waited.
But it was too late.
That was stupid. See, look. That's for killing me, and that's for killing me. And now I'm moving on.
There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest. The mice and rabbits.
Thank you.
Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry too. This was an unhealthy place to be. Oh look! Fracking. The 20-sided core made him feel physically sick. Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark arts, and he hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the armature. The wheels began to spin, then glow. The sick feeling quickly spun away. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends for this war up. That made him feel better. He carried his pride Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some wreak havoc on the enemy, and if it wasn't, well, better to know that before the final battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it. Renato had never been much of a student. At Swordfu School, he'd never read the books, just looked at the pictures. And Zenobia. But weapons he understood. His gut told him that the Skyripper would work great. He would use it to take out the Imperial outpost. And what's the worst that could happen? The thing wouldn't work, and then he'd take it to the scientists, right? Renato actually could think of a few things that were worse. But he would make sure they didn't happen this time. Right? Exactly. As he set out down the path, Renato wondered why the parts of the Skyripper had only surfaced now, thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had discarded it. This Emperor, Isengrim III, had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Perhaps that was bringing up lost artifacts. How perfect, then, that the Skyripper would reappear to be his distraction. And hopefully this time, just his destruction.
A chest full of old banana peels. There had to be more. There was.
Ever wonder why the Imperial Ravens are always hiring? He was tired of slaughtering ravens. Maybe it was time to test out the new weapon.
Now that would be
He turned
interesting.
the knob on the Skyripper. It made strange mechanical noises,
The wheels spun faster. It began to hum.
The Sky Ripper was following his every step. At least it acknowledged him as the master. But there was no trigger. How was he supposed to fire it? Fire, he said. Nothing happened. Well, maybe it just needed to warm up. After all, it hadn't been fired in thousands of years.
All right. Still getting good combos.
The Sky Ripper was making a whining noise now, and its wheels were spinning so fast he could no longer see them.
Renato had a thought. Please? He asked. The Sky Ripper began to glow. Boom! The outpost burst into flame.
Ravens flapped out screaming, wings on fire. The base was his. The far speaker toad came hopping out.
Renato!
It croaked, sounding like a toad version of Zenobia.
Don't use the Sky Ripper. It will destroy the world.
Yeah, sure it will, cracked Renato. Pull the other one.
If you don't trust me, go see Calaveras.
That sounded sensible. Why did she always have to sound sensible all the time? Oh, it was infuriating.
Of course she would say that. He was supposed to hurry and bring the Sky Ripper to the council so the rebels could actually win the war. But what if she was right?
Damn it.
Fuck it.
Just this once, he would not let Zenobia get into his head with her logic and her wisdom and her appeals to reason. He was a fox. He'd go with his instincts, and it would all work out like it always did. Oh, he was sounding like a reckless idiot, even to himself. But if there was one thing Renato could never bring himself to do, it was turn back on a decision he'd made.
The hell are they doing out there? Jesus.
Imperials were flapping and cawing all around the ruins. They must be panicking with rumors flying of the superweapon. Maybe they hoped to find and destroy the base before he could put the Sky Ripper into action. The Sky Ripper was whining and heating up. It will be time to use that energy soon.
All right. Finish off the combat.
More extraordinary.
Like I said, right now I'm going after Whew. How did I not die from that?
Renato was making himself dizzy. Fun.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Renato had never had a super weapon before. He'd single-handedly taken down an Imperial base. He felt good. He'd resisted all the distractions that were thrown in his path. Couldn't wait to attack the enemy fleet.
Oh fuck, I missed that. God damn it. good, but not good enough.
What was Zenobia talking about? This was a fantastic weapon. Ravens burst into flames with just a touch of its killer beam. He was tempted to leave it on all the time, but he didn't want to accidentally slice off some council toad's head or tongue. She'd been trying to distract him. Well, this time, no one was going to distract him.
Oh, goddammit, the lever was in here. Alright. Okay. Ain't feeling that comfortable. God damn it. Let me just kill you guys. Ah, I hate these things because I get so fucking greedy. Alright, I'm not gonna get greedy. Even though that was kind of a greedy move. That was a greedy move. That's a greedy move. That's a greedy move. That's a greedy move. That's a greedy move.
Long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Like having the world's deadliest foe right by his side.
As he headed towards the council chamber, Renato felt everyone watching him.
You've saved the rebellion, said the council speaker. Frankly, we were afraid you'd turn aside to save that idiot Lapino.
Not bloody likely, Renato told them, feeling he was maybe being a bit harsh on the poor mad rabbit.
If you never make sacrifices, he said, you're probably not doing the right thing. The speaker nodded.
Are you ready to lead the charge?
Let's roll, he said, with grim satisfaction. Renato set sail for the fleet. The Sky Ripper had lost its wine. It was humming now, as if it had taken some time to seat properly. He had always been irresponsible. This time, he'd done the right thing, made the hard decisions. He was a real hero. He hadn't let himself be distracted by old friends or old lovers turned enemies. Finally, he could be proud of himself.
He was ready. So was Sky Ripper. The Sky Ripper had a will of its own. It picked out its own targets and set them on fire.
Now, this was going to be a short battle. He would set the ships on fire if he didn't need them to get to the Emperor. And he wondered if he'd see Zenobia, or if she'd flee. Wouldn't she be proud of him? At least, a bit of respect. He'd become an all-conquering hero.
Renato had a feeling that was the back door to something. But what? There was a parchment on a signpost. It was from her.
Every time you fire, you risk the destruction of the universe. That's insane. We surrender.
He'd done it. He'd played chicken with Zenobia and won. He could hear the horns blaring the retreat. She was wiser than he was, that was for sure. But wisdom didn't win battles.
Ferocity. If the device was a woman, he'd buy it a drink. And there was Zenobia, wearing the white robes of surrender. She came and kneeled before him. Why didn't you listen to me? I was trying to save you too. You're the enemy, you said. I was never your enemy, Renato.
And he realized, not for the first time, how much she loved him.
Then she spoke a terrible word and made a gesture with her hand. She stopped moving, covered in frost, and he wondered why she'd frozen herself. Then the Sky Ripper froze, and then, for a moment, he felt very cold and discovered that he couldn't move. The next thing he knew, the sun was a giant, monstrously red. It took up half the sky, and he was in a parched red desert. And then he was on fire.
Alrighty. Not the story I wanted, but it all works out. But I'm going to call it a night right now. I will catch you guys next time, probably at some point tomorrow. If not later, because I got until dawn that I'm going to have my roommate play. So I might live stream that here in a second. But I will talk to you guys later.